Sexless relationship can happen a year in or 20 years in, and couples do everything to try to solve this problem. And sometimes they just need a new perspective to maybe help them work through it. And I am Dr. Sheena Glover. I'm a couple psychologist who works with couples of a variety of intimacy issues, and sexless relationship is one of them. This episode for the partner who notices that their desire has been extremely low and very frustrated that they can't seem to access pleasure as easily as they once did, or maybe it's their first time. Let me just be very clear. For the partner who's noticed that their desire has just completely dipped or disappeared, they did not choose to not have sex. They actually want to, they just can't seem to access it. And it is very frustrating to notice this about yourself and then not know how to navigate it. Am I broken? First and foremost, you not wanting sex is completely normal. And just because our bodies has a arousal, that does not mean we want sex, because sex and wanting it actually starts in the brain. Every human body has a excitable system and an inhibition system. It was discovered by a team of researchers named Jansen and Bancroft, and they called it the dual method model. And to simplify this, we're going to use the brake and accelerator pad. So every human being has a gas pedal that allows them to move towards sex and a brake pad that stops them from moving towards sex. And most of the time, people operate in a moderate brake system and a moderate gas system. And one of the first things that can actually make you more sensitive about your brake system is based on the messaging that you might have had over the course of your life. And what I mean by that is that sex in and of itself has never really talked about in our society, especially if you're a part of the Western society, from a place of pleasure. I think we're moving towards that. A lot of the times when you are first learning about sex, it is typically either from a medical model where you're going to catch an STD, a moral perspective where you are going to be treated like a whore if you have sex prematurely, or from a media model where you're supposed to be this incredibly sexual, viral person, and if you're not having multiple orgasms the moment you have a penis inside you, then you are doing it wrong. When these messages start to become internalized and we try to carry on a sexual relationship with our partners, it can be really hard to take your foot off the brakes. Coupled with the mixed messages that we get from society, as well as when we enter a relationship and we are starting to pick up from our partner that they're becoming frustrated, it can absolutely feel like there's a cement block on your brake system, stopping all desires and wants for sex. So you remember how I said that sex starts in the brain. When you want sex, that tells your body and your brain to say, hey, I want to move towards that. When we don't want sex, it's typically based on either internal or external context. And as I said before, when we get a messaging from our partner that, hey, they're becoming frustrated, you might start internalizing the message that I'm failing, that I'm not good enough, that I keep getting this wrong around sex, or you might start beating yourself up, telling yourself, why don't I want sex? And why can't my body and why can't my mind just get up to the task and do it? And especially if you are coming from a relationship where there was this incredible thrill in the beginning of the relationship and sex was just abundant and your gas pedal just was always going, or it felt like it was always going, to this where it feels like you're trudging through sludge just to get your body going. One of the biggest culprits here is context. If your context, to include your partner, giving off frustration, can actually be the thing that stops your pleasure from even being a thing that you are even paying attention to. Because what is taking up your attention is the stress, the pressures of what's happening on the inside or on the outside of you. Meaning it could be parenting, it could be work, it could be your partner. It can be a slew of things that makes it really hard for you to even want to move your foot off the brakes. When we zoom into the internal experiences of that brake system, one of the most damaging experiences is the guilt and shame. Shame is a really easy place to go to, because if you are already walking in thinking that you are broken, it means that something must be inherently wrong with you. And if we put it within the context of the way that we move through the world and the messagings that we get, what I said earlier about media, you get this script of what you're supposed to be like. And there's an obvious discrepancy between how the people that you are trying to emulate on TV is being portrayed versus the reality. It feels like there's a huge deficit that is happening, and it can be so easy to feel more and more shameful that you're not as motivated for sex as what you see in day to day. So most people go straight into, how do I fix me? First, I want you to know that you're not broken. You're not an object. Thus, you're not something that is just going to be super glued. There is something really honorable about your brake system, because it's telling you, hey, I'm not in that place of relaxation and a sense of safety to be able to engage in this. And so the longer we berate ourselves thinking that our brake system is fundamentally flawed, it's where you're going to create more and more experiences of shame on the inside. So the first place to start is stop telling yourself that you need to be fixed, because you're not damaged. You're not broken. The second place that is also needing your attention is obligatory sex. When you step into that obligatory sex where you are just trying to satisfy your partner, and because they are more sexually aroused and they desire you more than you feeling the need for sex, that you can fall into a pattern of going into sex and just giving your body off for your partner to enjoy. And here's the thing. Neither one of you actually enjoys that kind of sex. Your partner would love a willing participant, someone who wants to have sex, over someone who is just there and not enjoying themselves and they're removed. And it is also especially damaging for you emotionally and physically, because you're not listening to your body. Your body doesn't feel safe to go there. And so to go to that place and force your body into doing something that doesn't feel good, it only makes the brake system even more compelling. Obligatory sex is something that we can't reach for. We have to figure out what is going on within you that is engaging the brake system and changing the context so that you can figure out how to access the accelerator. Imagine your desire for sex is an island and you're in a motorized boat and you are cranking up that accelerator to try to go there. But there are obstacles in the way. There might be parenting. There might be a stressful job. There could be depression. It could be so many factors that is in the water that's preventing you from getting there. And sometimes even altogether holding your boat in place from moving towards that island. The goal is to figure out what is getting in the way of you actually desiring sex. So you want to remove the context that ensures that your brake pad is being engaged. There are two resources that I want to give for anyone who sees themselves in this position that wants to learn more about it. I have an incredible book recommendation called Come As You Are by Emily Nagoski. This book is also centered mostly around women, but there is a lot of value for men. And if you want to learn more, I highly recommend this book. The second thing is that you can start doing the work now of understanding what actually turns you off and turns you on. When you can figure out what allows you to enjoy sex, enjoy the pleasures of things, you actually are more empowered. And if you need help working with a therapist, I highly recommend a sex therapist that can help you through this. Another thing that I highly recommend is understanding pleasure outside the context of sex. There are a great deal of things that you can experience pleasure pleasure from, whether it be sitting on the beach, enjoying a delicious piece of chocolate, or a massage. There are so many pleasurable things that you can access. And if you allow yourself to sit with pleasure and be able to notice when that sensation is entering your body and when it's not, that list is going to be very helpful. So the next episode is all about the perspective of the other partner, the one who is always initiating sex and is just not successful. And if you found this video useful, please follow me for more.